Want to do that?
Okay, well, welcome to the 12 Stones podcast. We have our first ever guest, Burt Whaley. Thank you so much for coming. We have gotten to know Burt a little bit as he's running for the Missouri House of Representatives District 138. So a couple days until the primaries, and we kind of wanted to sit down and chat. What do you have to say?
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
We should say our names though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So just go. This is Deborah and Gretchen.
This is Deborah.
And this is Gretchen.
And this is Burt.
No, you already did, Burt.
Okay.
This will just be part of our little intro. You know, this is
the blooper reel.
Yeah.
Here we are on the blooper reels.
Candidate for the 138th District, Burt Whaley. And we've gotten to know Burt a little bit, and we're just thrilled to sit down and talk with him for a bit. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about your district, the 138th.
So the district is made up of part of Stone County and part of Christian County. So from Stone County, from the lake north to the northern border, all the towns that would include Jamesville, which is an unincorporated area, Hurley, Crane, Galena, Branson West, Kimberline City, Indian Point, Cape Fair, and several unincorporated areas as well. Did I do Reed Springs?
Yeah.
Reed Springs. And then and also Lampe. Lampe, south of the bridge, is a little section down there.
And Billings.
And yes, Billings, unincorporated area. Well, yes, Billings. Yes, sorry. Am I going to mess all this up?
No, this is a podcast, so you're not messing
you're
anything.
Probably not going to help me.
No. Yeah.
Easley. We got Easley as well. So, I mean, there's McCord, Bend, Ponce de Leon. Also, I like that one, Ponce de Leon.
That was a good one. Sounds fancier.
Right. And then on the Christian County side, you have Chadwick, Sparta, Highlandville, Spokane, and Saddlebrook, and other small incorporated and unincorporated areas as well.
Seems large.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I mean, from our house, we can get pretty much anywhere in 55 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
And is it mainly rural, would you say?
As far as landmass, yes. When you look at southern Christian County and northern Stone County, they're pretty much the same as far as agricultural. There are businesses supporting agriculture, supporting the citizens. And then as you go closer to the lake, in Branson West, Reed Springs, Kimberline City, Lampe, and Cape Fair, those are all part of the tourism piece, with housing, with restaurants. There's far more restaurants down in that area than there are up in the northern portion. However, I think they work very well together. I think there's need for more collaboration with the agriculture versus the tourism and the businesses down there. But I think there is a lot of positive energy that I'm hearing about when we talk about economic development, the chamber, the Table Rock Chamber, and I've been a part of that for, over a half a year now. I think I joined them in January. They have a economic development director now. He's wonderful. We've been talking quite a bit. I just got to know a group in Christian County that's on economic development. And it's Show Me Christian. That's right. Show Me Christian County.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just got to know them recently. And so I'm pretty excited about those two things going on. And then there's a whole lot of energy going on. There's a lot of need too. I mean,
how long have you been in this area?
Here, 6.5 years.
Okay.
Now we've been We bought land in 2010, and so we've been coming down here quite a bit. In fact, we had our honeymoon down here in the barn.
That would be a honeymoon. That was an anniversary.
Or anniversary. That's right, anniversary.
She's gonna keep you straight.
Right, anniversary. We actually turned the tack room into a bedroom in the barn so we can stay here.
Burt, we just know you're going to be elected. And what is the one thing that you really want to accomplish in the Missouri House over the next 2 years?
Saving babies. Absolutely saving babies. We have got, right now we have a Missouri statute that says we recognize life begins at conception. We do. We have in our Missouri statute. We had a trigger law that was enacted when Roe versus Wade was overturned. That has made us an abortion-free state, and we need to stay that way. So we need legislation, and we really need a constitutional amendment that reinforces the statute that we already have on the books. Life begins at conception.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Do you have any committees that you'd like to serve on?
Definitely the Education Committee, the Tourism Committee, and the Agricultural Committee. Mm-hmm. Those would be my three big passions. I might be able to talk to others, but as a freshman, I think 3 is probably enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all have your hands full, I'm sure. What obstacles do you foresee, if any, to accomplishing things for the 138?
Obstacles. Well, first is always financial. For example, in Kimberling City, they have 6 water districts, 5 of which are wells that are independently operated. And then they have the city water system. And their goal is to combine all of that into one system so there is more consistent service to everyone in Kimberling City. That's a big task. And that's most likely going to need some state assistance money-wise. So that's a project that I would be interested in supporting. And we have others. You have highways that need to be improved upon. We've got this situation right now with MoDOT. So MoDOT wants to put a circle. The residents in the area, I would say at about 97% of the residents want a stoplight, and MoDOT is, they're stuck in their way. They've got their data. I'm sure they truly believe that the roundabout is the best way to go. But the residents see how effective the light is further south.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, the roundabouts in Nix are pretty irritating.
Right. Well, I think roundabouts would be much more effective if people actually knew how to use them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that could be a podcast on its own.
Yes.
Because, did you see that continuous flow intersection in Nixa?
Yes.
Have you been by there yet?
Yes.
2 accidents already.
Yeah. Well, and I can understand that because people don't know how to use them. Right. People my age, we didn't take a test on how to do a roundabout. I know
people my age didn't take that test.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But if you lived on the East Coast, you'd know roundabouts.
Yes.
Oh, roundabouts I can get, but the crossing over to the left side of the road, that freaks me out.
Yeah. No, it's odd. Yeah. Very odd. Very.
Right. But those are just a few examples of what needs to be done. But, the agricultural component, we need to be able to protect farmland. That's huge. And when you talk to folks in South Christian and North Stone, one of their biggest concerns is another country coming in and buying their farmland, or a big business coming in and overpowering them because they don't have the capital to buy the land next door.
It seems like there's been a huge influx. We're guilty of it too, of people moving other states to Missouri, kind of escaping liberal policies and liberal laws. And so, I get where they're coming from, but we need to protect the land from foreign entities for certain.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Aside from abortion, what is the most pressing need in Missouri, in your opinion?
Well, we've got to get our government smaller, smarter, and cheaper. I mean, we really do. Reducing property tax, reducing income tax, reducing real estate tax. I mean, we've got to. The burden on the people is too great, and our government is too big. And, when we look at, let's just look at the Department of Revenue. Their computer system is outdated and antiquated. So we really need to look at improving the Department of Revenue's systems. And I know this is going to sound strange, but also the people, because they're overloaded. Imagine if they were up to speed and their computer system was accounting for all of the unpaid taxes that people are paying, we could actually pay for the system and reduce our taxes because they're actually having a more efficient system of collecting taxes. Now, I know that doesn't sound like, but then you're making other people pay more. Well, no. Yeah, they might be paying something they're not paying for right now. But when we can, and I don't want that going into a big government. I want that to go back in to the system to make it smaller, smarter, and cheaper. And we can cut, I know we can cut fat. When you look at DESE, I get DESE. I've worked with DESE. I know DESE. Now, granted, my knowledge of DESE
DESE is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and which is extremely bloated and, has...
What did it start out as? Like 6 employees, and now it's
something like 6 employees, and we're about 1,800 employees now.
Yeah.
Its main purpose was to distribute funds to the districts. There is a functionality for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. I get that. But it's really big. And what I would like to see is making DESE smaller, smarter, and cheaper. So that money can go back to the districts for them to use it, increasing local control at the districts so they can make their own decisions. When we look at our Missouri budget, it is at least 50% federal money now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Our budget has doubled. And this is information from a number of the candidates, so it's got to be accurate, and as well as just looking into it.
I've heard that going around, and I'll let you finish it.
No, go ahead.
Well, that kind of reminds me of the COVID restrictions. I mean, we get so much of our budget from the federal government, and then when you look at a situation like the pandemic, where, if we're not jumping through the hoops, are they going to continue that funding? Are they going to cut the funding? Yeah. So what were your thoughts on COVID restrictions? How did you handle it? What if another pandemic occurs? Plandemic, however you feel about it?
Well, so from a business perspective, I had zero business during that time. I mean, my small business is teaching active shooter intruder training. Well, you don't teach it to teachers that aren't in the schools.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And churches were closed as well. And then you also had financial issues. And then you had issues about it getting together in groups. So basically, I stepped back from, I think it was a little over a year that I wasn't doing active shooter intruder training. There was a few here and there, but not very many. However, I was building this house during that time.
Okay.
So we ordered all of our materials before, locked our prices in before COVID hit.
Wow.
And so I spent basically the pandemic building a house and really didn't notice a whole lot unless I went to a given store where I had to wear a mask. And to be honest with you, that's what they wanted. That's what they needed. There was a fear factor there. I wasn't going to fight them on the mask. No way, because the people that are asking you to wear a mask are not the people that made the decision that if you walk into my store, you have to wear a mask. So I wore a mask. Now I did put lips on one of my masks. and we got some fun masks, we got some Trump masks and things of that nature. So we had fun with it. Did not take the jab. Did not. The science didn't make sense. Matter of fact, my daughter and I researched quite a bit. Got on the internet, researched the studies, the coronavirus. We looked at the different structures, the genetic structure of coronavirus. We looked at the effects of a natural coronavirus versus what we're seeing here. So we, and my daughter and I both have biology degrees, and so, we were able to draw on some of that knowledge as well. So we did some serious research on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. They're coming out with a bird flu type thing now.
Right.
So it looks like they might be trying to do pandemic 2.0.
Right.
We have a health board now that is very much opposed to forcing people to mask or
in Christian County.
Yes, in Christian County, or take any medical treatments or solutions. So
mandated.
Yes. So
yes, which is good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is a good thing. And I think when we look at how county health boards operate, I think we need to look at what happened during the pandemic and what lessons did we learn and what can we do better next time with the mandates. The mandates are unconstitutional. And when we look at that, we really need to take a stand as citizens, but also our elected officials need to take a stand.
Right.
And when we do that, I believe, and I've always talked about getting back to basics, getting back to faith, family, morality, law, education, and liberties. Well, we can't stomp on our liberties. We cannot stomp on our liberties because we're afraid. Because that's how tyrants take control.
Exactly.
They create fear. And this isn't just Burt's opinion. You look at history.
Yes.
Look at what happened in China. Look what happened in Russia. Look what happened in Germany. Look what happened in Venezuela. They're all the same stories.
Right.
They used a little bit different techniques, but it's the same strategy.
Yes, and fear is one of the biggest.
Fear is the powerful
weapon that they use.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So we have to remain fearless. Give us your opinion on the grassroots movement in Missouri.
Okay. Well, I have been a part of the grassroots movement for several years. I started out with, I was asked to start a chapter of We the People in Stone County. I had actually been attending Christian County MRA for several months prior to being asked to start a chapter of We the People. So being involved with We the People, our first objective was really to educate the group. And we had a group of about 30 to 40 folks. And our first goal was to have all of the elected officials in the county, the sheriff, the commissioners, the county clerk, the treasurer, to come and introduce themselves and just kind of share what they do. So that was the first thing we did. And then when we came up to the votes, how do you get a sample ballot? How do you get information on each of the candidates? And so really starting to educate people on how to get that information and then sit down and discuss it as a group.
So it's been like an educational process for citizens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the idea then is to grow into awareness that we do need conservatives, conservative Christians, the Judeo-Christian belief system, on boards, health boards, school boards, now we have a new ambulance board. So encouraging people to get involved, at least going to those meetings first, and then started getting engaged as a board member. We're in Stone County. We're still working on that. But we also have a central committee, and I've been a part of. I was voted in as the committee man for Cass Precinct in 2022. So I've been a member of Stone County Republican Central Committee for 2 years. I actually became the chair right before the caucus, because the chair, and she will admit this, so I'm not saying anything wrong, but she didn't want to do the caucus, and recommended me to replace her for the remainder of the term. And so
You stepped up.
I stepped up. Yeah, well, sure. I guess that's the way it was. And got trained. I went to 3 additional trainings and attended a couple mock caucuses of local counties to be geared up for our caucus. And we had a very successful caucus. Now, I had a team too. I had a team of about 20 people that we met for, gosh, I think it was 5 months, because we jumped on it. We got on it, got a team, and it went great.
Have you always been like this involved in politics, or is it something that...
No. I mean, civically involved, yes. I mean, when I was 18, I was in the military, and you know, I served 2 years active duty. Then I was in the reserves for 17 years, and then my last year was on active duty. So as I got involved in education, I got involved in more civic activities, mostly with a group called Lisa Cares, and which was a civic organization that looked out for youth. The group I was in was specifically for youth, at-risk youth. Which is what I did my entire career, was working with at-risk youth, youth that struggled either academically, behavior, or attendance, or a combination of those, to the point where I started that alternative school. And that's still a civic support system. And then working with agencies within the community to help the kids. Matter of fact, we had what we called a health fair. We had it for 10 years of the 20 years I ran the school. Rachel House, which I've talked to you guys about before. We also had Lee Summit Cares come out and work with the kids, and then they got to know all of these groups, these civic groups. DARE program. Even though they had that when they were kids, they got reintroduced to the DARE program. I bet we had 15 different civic organizations that would come to this fair, to our school in our multi-purpose room, and the kids went around to each table. They had a what do we call it? A pathway something, where they had to go to each table. They had a series of questions they had to ask. It was really cool. Nice. And then at the end, we had hot dogs and hamburgers and chips and pop and stuff like that. And then there was multiple of activities. So that was one thing we did. But I've also been involved in church. I've got, I think, 42 years or so in lay leadership in the church, from a young graduate from high school. I even came back and did some things as a soldier when I came back from leave. But when I got off of active duty, I was 20, and got immediately involved in the youth group at the church as a co-director. But then we were also involved in community activities. I've done mission work at local level, state level, international level. I've been to 9 different countries doing leadership trainings, youth camps, underground churches training. Yeah, leadership. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's not all been politics.
You've been busy. Yeah, you've stayed busy over the years.
I've been a patriot.
Yes. Well, on a personal note, you have a very lovely wife.
Yes.
Yeah, we love Leah.
And
me too.
Where would you be without her?
Oh, I'd probably be curled up in some cave.
Yeah.
Exploring the caves, not getting out in public. No,
toss $1 at you every once in a while.
We actually met on March the 6th of 1984. It was a warm day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what time of day was it?
Well, actually, it was somewhere around between 6 and 7.
Oh.
I had taken the youth group. At the time, I was still on active duty. I was an MP, but I was on a special assignment at this church, which was Morris Hill Chapel. And I won't go into the details of why I was there on a special assignment, but
To find Leah.
yes. Yeah, no, but that's where I had seen her actually right before I went on a mission to New York through the military, and I can't tell you about that either. But
You have to kill us.
no, I would not have to do that. But it was a security mission. But I had seen her, and so I thought, well, that's a pretty gal. But she had a cheerleading letterman's jacket on. I said, oh, she's still in high school. Not interesting. Okay, so then after we did our mission, then I was put on a special assignment to this chapel, and got to know her dad. We hit it off. I mean, it was super cool. We just hit it off.
So I really fell in love with my dad.
Yes, I did. I fell in love with her dad first.
I gotta get in this family.
I did. And then I met the mom, and she was interesting. And man, could she cook? But she was fun. And so I'm sitting. So we go to this roller rink. I take the youth in the van. I'm sure you're in the van. Honestly,
I didn't ride in the van.
You didn't ride in the van.
No.
Well, that's why I don't remember you in the van. Okay,
No.
well, there's new information for me right there. So we get there, kids pile out of the van. They all get geared up for roller skating, and Leah you must have traveled with your mom.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're all roller skating around, and I'm sitting there talking with her mom because she's one of the sponsors for the youth at that time. And then Leah would come up and get a drink of pop, Pepsi specifically, by the way. And
Were you skating?
Yes, I don't
You're
know
out
how
there
I
skating.
remember.
yeah, so yeah, it was a Pepsi.
Remember what
Because she said, is that a Pepsi or a Coke? And she said, it's a Pepsi. She said, it's good because I don't like Coke. I don't know why I remember that, but that memory right there is 40 years old. I haven't ever said that before. Okay. But nevertheless, so she keeps coming around.
Only because I thought he was cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that at all, obviously. So then I guess school's out. She comes up to Oh, by the way, her dad and I were doing what they call Friday Family Night. He was the elder responsible for that, and I assisted him in that.
Okay.
As a suit, well, again, being there on a special assignment, I was working as a chaplain's assistant. That was my so-called cover, but I wasn't very good at it because everybody knew I was an MP. So I really wasn't very good at my undercover operation.
Oh, no.
I finally did, I just pretty much admitted that I was an MP there on the special assignment. But that's a story for another day. But so then she comes in to help on the Friday Family Night. I don't have a clue that she's interested. I mean, she's 3 years younger than me.
So I could spend time with him.
Yeah, she's 3 years younger than me. At that point, I was thinking, no way, this is not going to work. Even though I thought she was pretty. And so I put her on making popcorn at one end of the church, and I'm working on another project at the other end of the church, getting the film ready and things of that nature, because we were using reel-to-reels. I can still operate a reel-to-reel.
I don't even know what that is.
Yes, you do.
I know.
No, you don't.
I have no idea.
Oh,
YouTube on it.
yeah. Oh, wow.
So
Man, I
sorry.
feel so old.
Is that like
Like the film on a strip.
Yeah, one
Okay,
one
I do know
film
what
goes
that
through the
is.
other film.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do know what that
And
is.
sometimes it'd break, then you'd have to tape it back together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody.
Or they would burn, like there's all those famous.
Yeah.
Yes, we have seen that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nevertheless, so that happened several times, and then her mom invited me out for dinner on I guess it was generally a Sunday, and then sometimes I would help her dad put up fencing or whatnot, and just kind of fell in love.
Did the
parents
mom
knew.
and dad?
Yeah, your mom and dad knew.
Well, yeah, Dad kind of brought him forward as, hey, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so he loved my dad by, his personality. He loved my mom for her food. So I was just...
That's true.
I was just the face, I guess.
You were the cute chick. Came along.
It took a while. No,
Yeah.
it didn't take long at all.
It took a while, and it took my dad's four-wheel drive green Chevy pickup truck drive up.
Okay.
With my country music blaring, and that did it. That sealed it.
Let me tell you the picture.
Okay.
I'm just finished mowing. They were going to play volleyball, so I mowed the volleyball field down pretty low, and got all the grass out of the way. And so I got it all prepped for them. And this is the youth group coming in, and she pulls in this 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive green pickup with country music blaring,
Hair blowing.
flying.
You bet.
Jumps out with this pink tank top and pink shorts and pom-poms on her socks.
Aww.
And her hair, her hair wasn't flowing because it was actually in the French braid.
Okay.
And I said, uh-oh. This senior in high school, I'm getting ready to ETS, means end of tour of service. And yeah.
You had the hard eyes. The little hearts in your eyes.
Hard eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did have the hard eyes.
Yep.
So then we just had a
That image is burned into my head.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Long distance.
Yep. We married young.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Right out of high school.
Yes. 15 days out of high school. I made the mistake of saying, because at this point I'm whipped. And I will admit it. I've been working on that ever since. But I made the mistake of saying, well, whenever you want to get married, I'm good with it.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, okay, June 15th. June 15th? That's like 2 weeks after you graduate high school.
And now we've been married 39 years.
39 years.
It really stuck.
And it did, and we're gonna die together.
And we're growing old together.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
There's nothing gonna change that.
Well, that kind of leads to another question I had, which is, do you guys have any advice for young families and how to stay God-centered? Raising little babies, you're so busy. I'm in that season of life where we're just like slammed all the time between sports and schooling, and
you have to have your people that are also founded in Christ.
Yes.
You have to be surrounded by those
surrounded
people. You cannot be surrounded by people that don't see the blessing that the Lord has on your marriage, the blessing of your children that you may be hollering at one minute and not really recognizing what the word says about those children that you have.
Mm.
And you need to be able to lift each other up in that group.
and fill each other's cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great advice.
And
really
being in the Word. And if you can't read it, listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got 5 minutes, read 5 verses. If you have 10 minutes, read 10 verses.
Even in the car,
Yes.
kids singing
Yes.
little Bible verses. That still brings something into you. My kids all the time are watching. Sometimes it'd get annoying, but they'd be watching those little videos of sing-alongs of, Bible stories, and it'd be like, oh my, do I have to hear this one more time? But they're really soaked in. It's soaked into their precious little souls, and it's soaked into me. And I treasure that.
I am a seed.
Yes.
I am a seed.
That's part of our family lore. My parents got me a little cassette tape of kids' Christian songs, and I would listen to it on repeat over and over and sing very much out of tune, very loudly on the many long car rides that we had, and drove everyone crazy singing.
And not forsaking the assembly, making sure you're connected with some group, family, extended family, a church, whatever, home church. It doesn't have to be a structure, but the church is the people, not the structure. But do not forsake the assembly. Memorize some verses here and there, especially like the armor of God.
Well, or something about, being a Ruby, so you can just kind of bring that out if he's saying something about bring out the trash.
Right. What?
Where it talks about, the woman being the ruby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, her engagement ring was a ruby because it was a biblical verse. It doesn't say your wife is a diamond. No, a ruby.
At the time, I didn't appreciate it so much because I was
she didn't.
everybody else has a diamond.
And you gave me a ruby.
But that's all right. My husband, when he goes into a pawn shop and he buys a gun, I go in and buy a ring. So, I say for every gun you buy, I'll buy one of those.
I must say I'm a little bit behind on things.
Yes, a little bit. We'll catch up.
Do you guys have a favorite song?
Oh, don't ask him his favorite song.
Uh-oh.
Because I'll cry.
What is it? What is it?
Amazing Grace.
Oh,
Well, he's got another one that he uses for me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But that's not a Christian song.
What's the couple song?
Ooh, My Only Love.
oh.
Who's that by?
What is it's a country singer.
No, it's a band. Sattler Brothers.
Oh, Stanton.
You don't even know who they are, do you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Good.
But he always sings me Brick House. And he dances too.
Oh, nice.
And he's a pretty good dancer.
Oh, this is on a podcast. We can cut that part out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's staying in. Where, in fact, the intro's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to talk about that?
No, we've had fun. I think
Okay.
that's
You want to end it?
Yeah, I think we're good because we got to get a picture and you guys got to get out of here. You guys got to get going. So,
All right.
Yeah.
so anyway,
Thanks. Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming.
guys. Thank you very much. This was fun.
Yeah.
You guys have been a blessing.
Oh, absolute blessing.
No, we've been.
We didn't know we were missing out on.
Well,
We found you guys.
you've been a blessing to us, and we're going to be praying for you. And we know that next Tuesday is going to be a great day.
God willing.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be a great day no matter what.
That's true.
Yes.
Because
The will of the Lord will be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
End of that.
That's it.